I'm from North Carolina in the States.
Oh, me too. I'm from California.
Really?
Yeah, San Diego. Yeah.
Opposite sides of the country, but yeah.
Yeah, but North Carolina is still the U.S.
Yeah, yeah.
And California, so it doesn't seem like the U.S. sometimes, but it is.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm from Utah.
Utah, you're from the homeland, man. You're from the mother country, man. That's cool. How's your mission going?
Great, yeah.
Yeah, how do you like the UK?
I love it.
Nice, nice. So do you got a lot of interactions with a lot of other Christian groups out here then?
Yeah, fair bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I always have a lot of discussion with the evangelicals. They're way different. I like the Mormons, man. I like you guys do a lot of research on the Bible, man. That's cool. Yeah, I was in Utah myself a while back in Salt Lake and Ogden. It's pretty cool, man. Met some of your elders out there. It's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, do you know a lot about Islam or?
A fair bit. I've picked up some from.
Right? What do you know?
Well, see, I know you believe Jesus Christ was a prophet.
Yes, that's good.
He was the Messiah, but not necessarily the Son of God.
Good.
I also know that you believe he didn't die on the cross, but he was taken up to heaven.
Hey, you know a lot, man. Look at you. What's your name?
My name's Elder Poole.
Your name is Elder, or you are Elder? No, I'm just cool. I'm just messing with you. Elder, cool, man. So go ahead. What else?
I also know that you believe that at the end of the world, Jesus Christ will come back and defeat the Antichrist.
Nice.
I don't really know a whole lot about Islamic afterlife or anything like
All
that.
right. Well, we believe in heaven. We believe in hell. Not so much like the Christian, Hollywood version, but more like an everlasting, wonderful life in peace where you can see God, live forever. We believe there's a punishment in hell. We don't believe the devil rules hell. We believe he's being punished as well because he's not, it's not like he's a king in hell or something like that. Yeah. But Mormons, we have, whoa, that lady's loud. We have some things in common. You believe that the Bible, as the King James Version, as they have it today, is not complete, right?
Yeah.
And we believe it's been corrupted as well. We believe the true message of Jesus that he spoke to his followers in Aramaic is not what we find in the New Testament today, right? So that's something we have in common, right? You guys do Christmas though, right? What's up with that though, man? Christmas is not from Jesus' birthday, right?
Yeah, but I think it's more about the message behind it than the actual day.
But it's a pagan holiday though, right? Saturnalia, 25th of December. It was there pre-Christianity. Early church fathers condemned it. In fact, the Puritans that came to the U.S. condemned it originally. So why would you celebrate something that was a pagan festival, right?
Well,
like JWs don't celebrate it.
We're celebrating the Christ part of it, right? I don't think God's going to be mad if we're celebrating Christ.
But you're talking about a birth that wasn't on that day. It's a lie, right? Like if you say this is the day Jesus was born and historically he wasn't, you guys are well read in the Bible. If you talk about how when the wise men came and so on, being out in the field, it couldn't have been December, it would be way too cold, right? So historically, most Christian historians will tell you that Jesus was born in the summer. So to make 25th of December, which was pre-Christianity, Saturnalia, pagan festival, into being the birth of Christ is just not a reality, right? That's why the JWs don't celebrate it too, Yeah. So that, I always feel funny because I used to go to church growing up and they'd tell us that Jesus was born and knowing that it wasn't his date of birth, right? That's just like lying to your congregation, right? Don't you think so?
I understand what you mean, but...
Yeah, you don't think it's like when were you born? Right? Don't give me exact date, but let's say a month, right?
I was born in February.
February, right? Like if I go to your kids and I'm like, he was born in August we're gonna celebrate his birth. You'd be like, yo, bro, I was born in February, right? Like you wouldn't be okay with lying to your kids, right? Right? Yeah.
I think, so in our church we're led by a prophet. I think if God had a problem with us celebrating Christmas on that specific day, he would have told us.
Really? So you believe the prophet is directly in touch with God all the time?
He strives to be.
I'm sure there's things the church used to do then the church changed, right?
Well, yeah.
Meaning that at a time, for example, polygamy. Right? The Mormon church practiced polygamy.
Yeah.
And today they don't, or do you?
No.
All right. Yeah. Maybe the FLDS do, right?
Yeah.
Right? I met them too, yeah. So now, at that time that the church was practicing polygamy, the prophet didn't tell them, your prophet, this is wrong, right? But today, if you do it, your current prophet tells you can't do it, right?
Yeah.
So was he not in touch with God back then, or how did that happen, right? Do you think polygamy is wrong? Let's put it that way.
When not sanctioned by God, it is wrong.
Okay.
It's an abomination, in fact.
So when the early Mormons were performing polygamy, were they doing an abomination?
They did it by the command of Heavenly Father. And then came a
That
time
doesn't
where
make
Heavenly
sense
Father
to you,
said
bro.
that the time was no longer needed for it.
So how can an action be something good at one time and abomination at the other?
Like,
does that make sense to
you? It
you?
all depends on the context.
So I mean, polygamy, there's not a lot of context. You get married to more than one woman, right? So I'm saying is the early Mormon church practiced polygamy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then today, they do not.
Yeah.
Right? So when they were practicing it, it's not like there was some different circumstance, right? Was it an abomination then?
I would say it's kind of like the Mosaic Law, where they sacrifice animals, right? Nowadays we think sacrificing animals, that's evil.
Why?
That's wrong.
I don't think that.
That's weird. Those animals don't deserve to die. But
you eat meat,
time,
right?
That was part of it, right?
No, but do you believe that God changes His laws, right? Meaning, even in the early times, when they sacrificed animals for God, like not to like another god, but like to God above, and ate the meat, for example, what's wrong with that?
They didn't always eat the meat. A lot of times they burned it. I'm reading in the Old Testament right now.
Gotcha.
Sometimes the priest gets a little bit of it, but most of the time it's just burned. And so
that's not good.
I
feel you on that one.
It kind of seems like a waste of a life to just kill it and then burn it and not use it for
anything. As Muslims, we have a different belief. We believe all the prophets followed the same basic principles of religion, right? We don't believe the prophet threw stuff away. Like, we don't believe the Old Testament is today as it was when it was originally revealed. Like, for example, the first 5 books of the Torah to Moses. I think you have the same belief, because a lot of Mormons have criticized the biblical, connotation of the canon today, right? In fact, Joseph Smith had his own translation of the New Testament. But you guys don't use it.
It's not really a translation. That's kind of a.
It is. I have it.
He
translated it.
He didn't actually translate. He just read the New Testament and received inspiration as he read it. So there was no reading the Greek manuscript and translating.
I think it is. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I have it. And it's actually side by side the one I have with King James, and he translated differently. It's not reading the English and then writing another English. He actually looks at, and there's difference in verses. You can Google it.
I've read it. Yeah.
Have you read the side by side with the King James?
Yeah. So most of it's very similar, but as he read the King James version, he received inspiration to add inspired correction to it.
No, but many of them, the verses, his translation has additional wording that is not in the King James. Not just a translation, but additional wording.
Yeah.
So you do believe that King James was wrong because he corrected it, right?
Not necessarily. We just think it was. As a whole, the King James Version is generally correct, but it has some imperfections.
But today, why don't you guys use his translation instead of the King James? Because he obviously corrected it. That doesn't make sense, right? If he's a prophet who's getting direct revelation and he sees the King James translation has mistakes and corrects them, as a Mormon, I would think you'd be like, let's use his. Does that make sense?
I suppose it would. Yeah.
It would make sense, but they don't.
Yeah.
Because I heard somebody copyrighted it, right? And then he had a split in the church, and they got the copyrights
for the
Joseph Smith translation.
I don't know.
Yeah, you should look into it, man. You're on a mission. You should know your religion, know your history well, right?
Yeah. We do research, but we don't have all the answers. We're just sharing about the Book of Mormon, how it's changed our lives,
nice.
how it's changed other people's lives.
Yeah. So, what do you believe about the afterlife?
I guess similar to you, where we believe there is
heaven.
Heaven is peace in the presence of God.
Okay.
With your family.
Okay.
We also don't believe
polygamy
in
in heaven.
I don't know.
I think you do believe that, because that's what I read. But
and then we don't believe in like a biblical, like a Hollywood hell.
All right, good. Me too, man. We're good on that.
Really, the greatest punishment anyone can receive is not being in the presence of God.
Right? What do you think about the mark of Cain?
I don't know.
You know the mark of Cain?
No, I know what it is, but
what is it?
Well, it has roots in Genesis, but I really don't know much about it.
You really don't? You should read. Brigham Young explains it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What does he say? Do you know?
I just know Brigham Young. He wasn't perfect. He said something.
He's a prophet, though, right?
Oh yeah.
So he got revelation from God.
Yeah.
So when God told him that mark of Cain is dark skin, that was revelation, right?
I don't know if he necessarily claimed that it.
He did.
Was revelation, and even if it was, Brigham Young was not without his flaws.
So as a prophet, when he brings a message, his message can be wrong?
Sometimes.
That's kind of weird. And if you're in touch with God, you're getting message. Then
Yeah, but also Brigham Young still sinned because he was
Oh,
a
yeah.
man, right? He wasn't Christ.
yeah,
And so he was capable of,
lying about God.
oh, not necessarily lying, but
I mean, and saying the mark of Cain is dark skin
so here's
is not a personal opinion, is it? It's like that's revelation, right?
here's the thing is that revelation doesn't come in a vacuum. People
Okay.
are influenced by their surroundings. And so Brigham Young was influenced by his surroundings. He lived in America in the 1800s.
He was racist.
Everyone was racist back then.
So
right?
prophet was racist. That doesn't make sense to me.
Wait,
I don't believe any of the prophets are racist. I don't believe the prophets in Islam were influenced on their message by their surroundings, right? Maybe what they like to eat and stuff like that, I get that. But if a prophet is tainted by racism, then that message, if it's tainted, that's just wrong, right? Like, how are you going to follow a prophet who's racist against black people?
Well, I think it's kind of like tossing the baby out with the bathwater, just because not everything is necessarily, not everything a prophet does.
But the message,
is godlike. The core of their message is.
Again,
truth.
like let's say you step on my foot, like that's a different. But if you came and told me that black people are black because they're cursed, it'd be hard for me to follow you, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a message that's tainted, not a personal interaction, right? Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like when you read in the writings of Brigham Young and even the Book of Mormon about the mark of Cain, that's like, to me that would be difficult to swallow, thinking that God cursed people with dark skin, right?
Yeah. I mean,
that's why you don't see a lot of black Mormons, huh? There are a few, but not a lot. Yeah.
there's actually the church is growing really quickly in Africa.
Yeah. Did you guys share that passage with them though?
I mean,
probably not. Right?
Everything's been published.
Yeah,
The church isn't
that's
hiding
true.
anything anymore.
Yeah,
So.
that's good. That's good. At least it's published. Yeah. But they weren't allowed to be black Mormons until what, the 80s, was it?
No, everyone was allowed to join the church from the very beginning.
Nah, I think there was a time when you couldn't be a black Mormon. You better look that up. Yeah.
No,
Google it. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
it wasn't a ban on membership. It was a ban on receiving the priesthood.
So why couldn't you be a black priest?
You couldn't. No, not at the time.
Why not?
Because it was racism.
So the Mormon church was racist.
Yeah, but so was every church in the
Not
1800s.
Muslims. No, Muslims were not racist in the 1800s. We've always had black Muslims. We've always had black Muslim scholars. We've always had black Muslim imams. And Chinese and white and brown.
That's
Right?
awesome.
That's cool. You ever read the Quran?
I read some of it.
All right, cool, man. Well, take a read. If you have any questions, let me know.
Okay.
All right, good talking to you guys.
What was your name?
Uthman.
Uthman.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Think about things, man. All right?
Oh, we do, yeah.
Good.
ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين